Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Also, folks, some other news that came out today, Facebook, they're banning a number of folks who they label as far-right leaders for various reasons. And one of the folks, first of all, Alex Jones, of course, his company InfoWars, also the absolutely nutty so-called journalist Laura Loomer. You have Milo, who is from, of course, used to be with Breitbart as well, and Paul Joseph Watson. Paul Nealon, an anti-Semite, who unsuccessfully ran for Congress in 2016 and 2018. But also you see on that list is Nation of Islam Minister Louis Farrakhan. This is what Facebook said. We've always banned individuals or organizations that promote or engage in violence and hate regardless of ideology. Begs the question, why is Louis Farrakhan on that list?
Because he's black. That's why he's on the list. And for those folks who are viewing this either live or going to review this was the only show. This was the only news show of any background that said this was going to happen. We said that on this show. In other words, are they also banning the Nation of Islam? Because they said organizations affiliated with them. I'm saying, now, last I checked, Louis Farrakhan and Nation of Islam have not caused anybody to bust up in a place like Politics and Prose to try to shut down.
That was kind of my thought. It's like, okay, fine. Homophobia, okay,
yeah. No question.
Anti-Semitism.
No question.
But has anybody ever shot or killed anyone because of the influence of the Nation of Islam?
Well, brother,
how
we
did
go back to
violence...
1965 February, you have argument about Malcolm X.
Right.
But beyond that,
true enough.
That's a different conversation.
True enough. But we also are having a different conversation about the nature of violence. I mean,
Exactly.
Alex Jones has promulgated conspiracy theories. I mean, yes, you can sort of squint and you get there from Louis Farrakhan, right? But also, you were talking about a situation that's kind of out of context, right? I mean, Louis Farrakhan has been an advocate for African Americans, a marginalized people, right? And he's been a very strong and vociferous advocate for that. What I kind of wonder is whether or not he just got thrown on top of the pile.
Oh no, brother!
Just because.
No, this wasn't accidental. And
no, it wasn't accidental. But I'm saying it's like
connected to NAACP, Urban League. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I mean, clearly it was an accident, but I'm saying he's thrown on the pile to make it look good.
Oh,
I mean, you can't just have white supremacists get banned from Facebook because that looks bad.
Right.
I mean, it looks like you're going after white people and you're going to have a white problem, right? But if you toss Farrakhan on with them, suddenly it's an equal opportunity, equal opportunity banning of hate speech and problems, even though Farrakhan, to my knowledge, has not made a headline in years.
So is Farrakhan a far right-wing leader?
Well, that was just corrected in a publication where they did have him listed as a far right-wing leader. Extremist, right. And so, yeah, now he's an extremist.
Like Black Lives Matter.
Oh, absolutely. And so that's the other piece that you were talking about before the show. It's like, well, what other groups are they going to come after now? And I do agree that I do believe that Minister Farrakhan is a part of the pile, a part of kind of like the both sides. If we're going to do this, we need to do that to the other group. But I do think that this is really a time for us to understand why it's important that we have outlets like this, black media, that do uplift and bring to the surface all of these different things that do impact us, violence, things that don't get raised to the top, the gun violence that we've suffered as a community for many, many years that now America is saying we have to do something about.
Well, here's what's interesting. You have conservative Ben Shapiro, who is coming to the aid of Louis Farrakhan. Here we go to my iPad. This is a tweet that he sent out. If they can't, they're not operating as platforms. They're operating as publishers. I despise Louis Farrakhan. But if they can't articulate how he has spoken beyond the boundaries of the First Amendment or some other objective standard, at the least, banning him is wrong.
He's not wrong about that. I have students at Howard. They read Ben Shapiro, they listen to him, then they come and ask me all these questions. If you're talking about rule of law, again, First Amendment, we're talking about, is it hate speech? Have you incited violence? And again, I'm concerned because Farrakhan just spoke at Nipsey Hussle's funeral. So now you're going to start looking to try to ban the rappers? I mean, now we start talking about...
Well, no, but that also begs the question, okay, so Farrakhan did speak at Nipsey Hussle's funeral. So then the question then becomes, does that mean that any videos of Louis Farrakhan cannot be posted?
Come on, brother.
Now, I was reading some of the pieces here, and they say that individuals can still post things by them, except there's a ban on InfoWars. No one can publicize their events and things along those lines. But I would be very curious to know exactly the rationale for each one. For each one, because I would, because
You'll never see that. You will never see that.
Because here's the issue. The issue does come. What is your standard, and then who's next?
Because there is no standard. It's kind of you can look at the list and tell it's ad hoc almost. I mean, with the possible exception of you know, well, I mean, Farrakhan's the only person who I can think of where there has not been some sort of violence or actual literal hate speech associated with those platforms. I mean, Milo is like a troll. Everybody knows that. And
Facebook could be saying that his comments with regards to Jews is hate speech.
Fair enough.
But violence, though.
But well, I don't know. I mean,
you know what, Ava?
And that's why I would like I would like an explanation.
Right.
I would.
But see, that's why I don't think you will ever get one.
Well, I tell you what, though, Ava Muhammad and some of those lawyers in the Nation of Islam, they're not going to take this line down. They need to go to court. Let's just test the rule of law. Is there a First Amendment or is there not a First Amendment? If it's a hate speech exception, understand that. If it's fighting word exception, that's two. But what is Facebook? Because, again, I'm not on Facebook, but what is Facebook? It's a private business, right? So now we're beginning to test the limits, and you've got a guy sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue who has suborned violence.
And actually, let's correct that, folks. Now, remember, Facebook also owns Instagram.
Right.
So they removed him from Facebook and Instagram.
Nation of Islam, probably.
Well, it just says Louis Farrakhan. So according to the Chicago Sun-Times, Facebook's official Facebook and Instagram pages, Farrakhan's official Facebook and Instagram pages had more than 1 million likes and followers before they were removed Thursday afternoon. His Twitter account with more than 336,000 followers remains active. And it says, post on Farrakhan's, here you can go to my iPad, post on Farrakhan's Facebook page often contain clips of his speeches and sermons, which has sometimes been streamed on Facebook Live. Many of those same clips are still posted to his Twitter account, where they have been viewed and shared several 100,000 times.
They've touched the third rail, one of the third rails of black politics. Louis Farrakhan did not speak at Aretha Franklin's funeral, but it wasn't because he didn't have the opportunity to speak. As you said, Roland, you live streamed that on this platform. Imagine if Farrakhan had gotten him a speech. Did you take that clip out? I mean, again, we've got a guy down 600 Pennsylvania Avenue. When you look at what he said about Ilhan Omar, and now she got to have increased security. I mean, as you said, what is the standard? I agree with you. We got to see some standards. They need to go to court and run this thing down to the sentence.
I don't know, but I know that they have definitely, Facebook has definitely been under a lot of heat because of their seems like inability to really say to white supremacists that, listen, we're not going to continue to allow you to place content on our particular platforms. And so Color of Change has been one of the organizations that's definitely been leading that fight. And so to kind of see that they've been doing that for years, to really pushing Facebook, pushing these social media, to include Twitter, to say to them that, listen, we're harmed by you all allowing these hate groups to continue to flourish on these platforms, and we've said that to you. So to see that they have removed some of them and to include Louis Farrakhan is a little bit curious.
And then the enough is enough moment probably was the live streaming down in Australia, where not Australia, but New Zealand, where the white guy shut up the mosque. In Christchurch, exactly. But still, I think that unless there are clear and hard and fast guidelines, I don't think they have them, and I think they would struggle to come up with them. No. It's going to be ruled as it's going to be seen as an injustice on more than one.
But and Color of Change and all these organizations need to be smart now. Don't be stupid. Anytime Ben Shapiro, who's an open enemy of so many things, comes out to defend Farrakhan, now you don't want to be trapped on the other side and say, well, we have to be fair and equal. Don't be stupid, because Black Lives Matter. These young people risking their lives in the street. This whole black identity extremist thing that the FBI tried to pull. This is a dangerous, slippery slope. Our people need to be smart now. Don't be dumb, because Ben Shapiro ain't no friend of Farrakhan. He's trying to protect himself.
Right. So it's going to be real interesting, again, to see what we also, according to the Chicago Sun-Times, Nation of Islam, they have not responded as a result. But I can guarantee you Farrakhan is going to have a response. And so, and I'll be, matter of fact, I'll be calling Farrakhan tonight to see if they're going to actually make a comment. I'd love to hear if he wants to chat tomorrow.
Wow.
Right here on our show.
Go ahead, protect Roland Martin Unfiltered at all costs.
We'll see what happens. Mr. Farrakhan, you want to talk? We right here. We right here. We right here, and we stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. Support Roland Martin Unfiltered. Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.